When my daughter-in-law Emily told me to leave, I smiled instead of crying. I do not know why I did that. Maybe I was trying to protect my heart. Maybe I did not want her to think she had the power to break me. Or maybe smiling was something I had learned to do whenever life pushed me down. I was holding a warm cup of tea in the kitchen. It was the same tea I made every morning, and usually one for Noah too. Milk first and a little sugar. Not too sweet. Just the way he liked it. But he had gone on a school trip early that day. So it was just me and Emily in the quiet house. She stood near the refrigerator with her arms folded. Her face looked tired, but not the kind of tired that comes from lack of sleep. It was the tiredness of a decision already made. "Linda," she said, using my name instead of calling me Mom. "Yes," I answered softly. "We need you to leave." Just those 5 words. Nothing more. It felt like the ground beneath me shifted a little. I kept staring at her, waiting for some explanation. But she did not add anything. No reason, no kindness. My fingers shook a bit as I placed the cup down. "All right," I whispered. I tried to make it sound easy. I tried to make it sound like I agreed. But inside, something cracked. Emily nodded. That was it. No thank you for the years I spent helping raise her son. No sign of sadness. Just a nod. I walked to my room quietly and closed the door. As soon as the door shut, my smile disappeared. Tears slipped down my cheeks before I could stop them. I looked around the small room. There was a drawing Noah made when he was 6 taped on the wall. It was of the 2 of us holding hands under a big yellow sun. I touched the drawing gently, tracing the crayon lines. That small piece of paper felt more like home than the whole house did. I sat on the edge of my bed and tried to calm myself. My thoughts were loud and painful. Had I done something wrong? Had I become a burden? Did Michael, my own son, want this too? I remembered the night Michael asked me to move in. He had held my hands and said, "Mom, please. We need you. We want you here." Emily had smiled too. She had thanked me for coming. Noah was just a baby then. They were both working. I wanted to help. And I did. I raised him with them. I thought I had earned a place in this family. But years can change people. And sometimes you do not notice the distance growing until they finally ask you to walk away. I wiped my tears and stood up. I packed my clothes slowly. I did not have much. I always tried not to take up too much space. When I finished, I zipped my suitcase. The sound felt heavy, like the end of a chapter I wasn't ready to close. I walked back to the kitchen and said, "I will leave after Noah gets home. I want to say goodbye." Emily hesitated for a moment, but then simply said, "Please make it quick." Her words stung, but I stayed quiet. What was the point of arguing now? I stepped outside to sit on the porch and breathe. The street looked the same as always. Children playing, birds singing, a light breeze. Life goes on even when your heart is breaking. I closed my eyes and prayed Noah would understand. Losing this home would hurt me, but losing him would destroy me. After some time, I saw the yellow school bus arrive. And there he was. My sweet Noah, running toward me with his backpack bouncing behind him. "Grandma," he called out with the biggest smile. He hugged me tight. For a moment, everything felt normal again. But he pulled back and looked into my face with concern. "Grandma, have you been crying?" I forced a small smile. "No, sweetheart. I'm just happy to see you." He didn't believe me. Noah always noticed when something was wrong. Before he could ask anything else, Emily stepped outside. "Noah, come inside. We need to talk," she said firmly. He looked up at me, confused and scared. "What's happening, Grandma?" I squeezed his hand gently. "It's okay, Noah," I whispered. "We will talk, I promise." But my heart was shaking inside me, because that conversation would change his world, and mine. Michael came home late that evening. I could hear the sound of his car door closing and his tired footsteps on the driveway. For a moment, hope fluttered inside me. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe Emily hadn't told him yet. Maybe he would come inside, see my packed suitcase, and stop all of this. I stood up, wiped my cheeks, and tried to look calm. But when he finally stepped through the door, the first thing he saw was my luggage in the hallway. His expression changed immediately. "Mom, what's going on?" he asked, his voice low but tense. I opened my mouth to speak, but Emily answered before I could. "She knows it's time," Emily said. We talked. Michael glanced at her, then at me. There was a flicker of guilt in his eyes, a flicker that hurt more than any angry words could. "Mom," he said gently, "we've been thinking. Maybe you should take a break. Go visit your sister for a few months." I shook my head slowly. "You're asking me to leave. You can say it as it is." He looked down at the floor. Silence stretched between us. I once imagined growing old with pride, watching my son become a man, a father, a person who would protect his family. But in that moment, I saw a side of him I never wanted to believe existed. A man who was too quiet to defend his mother, and too weak to say the truth out loud. Noah stood nearby, watching all of this with frightened eyes. "But Grandma lives here," Noah said, voice trembling. "This is her home." Emily placed a hand on his shoulder. "Sweetie, we just need some space. You're growing up and we want privacy. Grandma will come visit. It's not goodbye." Not goodbye. Sometimes words hurt more when they pretend to be gentle. I knelt down in front of Noah and held his small hands in mine. "Your mom and dad think this is best right now," I whispered, even though it burned inside me to say it. "No," he said, a tear slipping down his cheek. "I want you here." I hugged him. That warmth, that love, that was my life's biggest blessing. Emily cleared her throat sharply. "Let's give Grandma time to finish packing." Michael nodded, though he couldn't meet my eyes. Noah held on to me tightly, refusing to let go. "I'll pack too," he said. "Wherever you go, I'll go with you." A broken piece of my heart tried to come back to life when he said that. But I couldn't let him carry this pain. "Noah," I whispered, brushing his hair back gently. "You belong with your parents, but I belong with you too," he cried. Michael finally stepped forward and pulled him away. "Enough, Noah." My suitcase felt heavier than before, not because of clothes, but because of memories stuffed inside it. Hours later, after dinner passed in silence, I sat in my room one last time. I looked around at the pictures. The old chair where Noah loved to curl up and read. The small blanket he insisted I use because grandmas shouldn't be cold. I folded that blanket carefully. I wasn't planning to take it. But now it felt like the only goodbye gift Noah had ever given me. So I placed it inside the suitcase. Night came quickly. The house grew quiet. Noah knocked on my door. "Can I sleep with you? Just tonight?" he asked in a small voice. I opened my arms and he crawled into the bed beside me. His head rested on my shoulder like he had done since he was little. "I don't want you to go," he whispered again. "I don't want to go either," I whispered back. But sometimes life doesn't ask us what we want. We lay there together in the dark. I stared at the ceiling, wondering where I would go. I had no home of my own anymore. My husband's death had already taken one home from me. Now this was slipping away too. Noah fell asleep holding my hand tightly. And I stayed awake holding my future quietly. Morning light came, but it did not bring comfort. I could hear Emily downstairs making breakfast. Michael was leaving for work early. Noah was still asleep when I finished packing the last of my things. I kissed his forehead softly. "I love you," I whispered. His sleepy voice answered, "I love you more." I stepped outside with my suitcase. A neighbor waved at me kindly. Not knowing this wave felt like goodbye to life as I knew it. Michael placed my belongings in the trunk. He still couldn't look at me directly. "I'll drop you at the bus station." Emily stood at the door. She didn't say a word, just a nod again. Her signature, goodbye. As we drove away, I kept looking back at the house until it disappeared behind the corner. My heart stayed there, sitting on the porch next to Noah. And for the first time in many years, I felt completely alone. The bus station was quiet. Michael helped me carry the suitcase to a bench. For a moment, we stood there not knowing what to say. I kept waiting for him to stop me, to say this was a mistake, to say, "Come back home, Mom." But he didn't. "Mom, you'll be okay," he said finally, his voice low. I looked at him. He had grown into a man taller than me, stronger than me. But right now, he felt like a scared little boy again, trying to hide something behind his eyes. "Michael," I whispered, Do you really want me to leave? He swallowed hard. It's not like that. Then what is it? He looked away. Things have been tense, Emily thinks. I know what Emily thinks, I interrupted softly. But what do you think? He didn't answer. Silence is a cruel truth. It tells you everything you didn't want to hear. The bus arrived, blowing a gust of cold air. It was like even the wind wanted to push me away faster. Michael hugged me, but it felt rushed, forced. I held him tighter, hoping he would hold on. Instead, he let go first. I'll call you, he said. I nodded. I didn't ask him to promise because I wasn't sure promises meant anything now. I boarded the bus and sat by the window. As the bus pulled away, I searched for one last glimpse of him. But he had already turned his back and was walking away. That hurt more than anything. I rested my forehead against the window glass. The world outside blurred into shapes and colors as tears returned silently. I didn't know where exactly I was going. My sister lived 2 states away. I planned to go there, even though we hadn't spoken much in recent years. We drifted apart after our mother passed. Sometimes distance grows without a fight, just time and silence. Halfway through the journey, my phone buzzed. It was Noah. Grandma, where are you? Are you coming back? My hands shook as I typed. I'm going to visit your Grayton for a little while, sweetheart. He replied right away. I don't want a little while. I want forever. My eyes filled again. I typed slowly. I love you more than anything. He sent another message. I didn't know they were going to make you leave. I tried to stop it. The weight of his words hit deep. A child shouldn't have to carry guilt for adults. I wrote back, it's not your fault. None of this is your fault. He didn't reply after that. Maybe he was wiping tears. Maybe someone took his phone. Maybe he was sitting in his room holding the blanket I left behind. That thought alone nearly broke me. Hours later, I reached my sister Anna's home. She opened the door with surprise in her eyes. Linda, are you okay? Why didn't you call first? I tried to stay strong, but the words burst out like a dam finally cracking. Anna, they asked me to leave. Her expression changed instantly. She pulled me into a tight hug and let me cry into her shoulder, like we were young girls again. You stay here as long as you need. This is your home, she said firmly. Those words warmed something inside me that had gone cold. The first night in her home, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. The bed felt unfamiliar. The walls felt unfamiliar. The future felt unfamiliar. My phone kept lighting up with missed calls, all from Noah. No messages from Michael. None from Emily. The second day, Noah called me crying. Grandma, please tell me you're coming back. I wish I could, I whispered. Dad said you needed time, he sniffed. But that's not true, right? You didn't want to go. I paused. I didn't want him to hate his father. But I also couldn't lie. No, Noah, I didn't want to go. He sobbed harder. My heart tore a little more. After the call ended, I stared at the phone for a long time. Then it rang again. This time, it was Michael. I answered, my voice tired. Hello? He sounded nervous, Mom. Are you settling in okay? I'm safe, I said. That's enough. He hesitated. I'm sorry if anything felt harsh. If? I repeated quietly. Michael, you told me to leave my home. There was a long silence. It's more complicated than it seems, he said. Then, explain, I whispered. He didn't. He only muttered, just, give us some time. Things will make sense soon. Are you sure, I asked slowly, that this is about space? Or is there something else you're not telling me? Please, Mom, he said quickly. Not now. And he hung up. I sat there frozen, staring at the phone. There was something he was hiding. Something big. Something that made him afraid to look me in the eyes. That night, Noah sent a short message. Dad and Mom are keeping a secret. I'm going to find out. My heart raced. Secrets destroy families quietly. They start as whispers and end as earthquakes. As I put the phone down, one painful truth became clear. Emily didn't push me out alone. Michael let something come between us. And whatever that something was, Noah was already searching for it. Days passed, but my heart refused to settle. My sister Anna did everything to make me feel comfortable morning tea. Warm meals, soft blankets. But even comfort can feel cold when your soul is somewhere else. Every night, I kept my phone close, waiting for a message, hoping for a call, praying for an apology. None came, except from the one who should never have needed to apologize. Noah. He sent me drawings he made. Pictures of us, sitting together on the porch, eating cookies, planting flowers. Under each drawing, he wrote, "Come home soon." One evening, Anna sat beside me at the table and said gently, "You can stay here forever if you want. But I know your heart is still with your grandson." I looked down. He is the only one who made me feel like I belonged. She held my hand. "Then don't lose that bond." I nodded, but inside I was breaking. I missed the sound of Noah's laughter. I missed the way he'd run into my arms after school. I missed being seen as something more than a burden. A few days later, my phone rang. It was Noah. He whispered like he was hiding in a closet. "Grandma, I found something." My heart jumped. "What did you find, sweetheart?" He took a breath. "I heard Mom telling Dad that you were slowing them down. She said they couldn't live their life with you in the house." His voice trembled. "She said you were unnecessary." That word cut like a blade. Not because Emily said it, but because Michael didn't defend me. I tried to steady my voice, Noah. "Sometimes grown-ups say hurtful things when they are stressed." "No," he said quickly. "Dad didn't say anything at all. He just listened." Silence followed. Painful. Sharp. Then he continued. "Grandma, there's something else." "What is it?" He sniffed. "I asked Dad why you had to leave. He told me adults sometimes need to make hard choices. But I'm not stupid. I know he's hiding something." "What do you think he's hiding?" I asked. There was a pause. Then a soft whisper. "Grandma, Mom said she can't relax with you watching her. She said you're always noticing things." "What does she mean by that?" I froze. I knew exactly what she meant. A memory flashed in my mind. A day when Noah came to me with a bruise on his arm. "Grandma, Mom got mad because I spilled my juice," he had said. At the time, I tried to believe it was just an accident, a bad moment, a misunderstanding. But now, pieces were fitting together. Noah continued. "She hides things from Dad. She locks the door when she gets angry. Grandma, sometimes she scares me." My breath caught. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to be there that second and take him away from harm. But I stayed calm for him. "Noah, listen to me. You did the right thing telling me. You are very brave." He sniffed again. "When are you coming back? Please come back. I don't feel safe when you're not here." My heart cracked open. "I will come back, I promised. I promise you I will." "Do you swear?" he asked softly. "I swear," I whispered. Right then, the call disconnected, like someone grabbed the phone away. I panicked and called back. No answer. I tried again. Still nothing. My hands were shaking. My breathing was uneven. Anna walked in and saw my face. "What happened?" I looked up feeling both fear and clarity. They didn't want me watching them. Because they knew I was seeing the truth, I said quietly. Anna understood instantly. "You think Emily is hurting Noah?" I nodded slowly. "I think she's hurting more than just him. Because emotional abuse doesn't always leave bruises. You can see. Sometimes, the real wounds are invisible." And Michael's silence. That was the loudest wound of all. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I kept hearing Noah's small voice in my head. "I don't feel safe." Every second away from him felt wrong, unbearable. I realized something painful but necessary. I didn't leave because I was unwanted. I left because I was getting too close to the truth. And now, I had to go back. Not as a mother trying to fit in, but as a grandmother ready to protect her grandson, no matter what it cost. I woke up before sunrise with a decision made in my heart. I could no longer wait for someone else to do the right thing. Noah needed me, and I could not abandon him the way I was abandoned. "Anna," I said over breakfast, "I need to go back." She looked at me with concern. "And if they refuse to let you in, then I will still be close," I replied. He needs to know I'm here. She nodded slowly. Then I'll drive you. We packed my things again. This time, the suitcase felt lighter. Because my purpose was strong. As we approached the familiar neighborhood, my heart pounded. Every house on the street seemed to stare at me, asking why I returned. Anna parked the car. She squeezed my hand. "Be brave," she whispered. I stepped out and walked toward the door that used to feel like mine. I rang the bell once, twice. Emily opened the door. Her eyes wide in shock, turning to irritation. "Linda, why are you here?" I kept my voice calm. "I need to see Noah." "This isn't a good time," she snapped. I looked her in the eye. "There will never be a good time for you." Before she could shut the door, I called out, "Noah?" His footsteps came rushing. Then his small face appeared behind her, tear-stained. "Grandma," he cried, trying to run toward me. Emily held him back. "Noah, stay inside." I stepped forward. With a strong voice I hadn't used in a long time, I said, "He told me everything." Emily froze. Her grip on Noah loosened. Michael appeared behind them, confused and worried. "Mom, what are you doing here?" "I came to take my grandson for the weekend," I said, holding my ground. "He needs a break." Emily crossed her arms. "That's not happening." Michael looked at me. "Mom, you should have called first." "No," I replied softly, "because if I called, you would have told me not to come." He looked away. That told me enough. I bent slightly to make eye contact with Noah. "Sweetheart, do you want to come with me?" He nodded instantly. "Yes, please." Emily stepped in front of him once more. "He's not going anywhere with you," she declared. "This is my house. My child, my rules." I took a deep breath. "Then why does your child feel scared of you?" Her face changed. Fear and anger, mixed into something dark. "What lies has he told you?" she hissed. "Noah doesn't lie about fear," I said gently. "Fear tells its own truth." Michael looked at Noah, really looked. And suddenly, he saw the truth too. His son's trembling hands, his watery eyes, the way he stood closer to me than to his own mother. Michael swallowed hard. "Noah, tell me, are you scared?" His voice was soft, aching. Noah looked up at his father with a pain no child should know. "Sometimes, when Mom gets mad," Emily tried to interrupt. "That's normal parenting. Kids exaggerate." But Michael silenced her with one raised hand. "Noah," he said again, voice shaking, "did Mom ever hurt you?" Noah hesitated, then nodded. Emily panicked. "Michael, he's making it sound worse than—" Michael's voice cracked. "You told me it was just accidents." Silence. Her lies started to fall apart like broken glass. Emily's face twisted with panic. "You blame me? You're always working. You left everything to me. Do you think it's easy?" Michael stared at her, guilt crushing him. But also anger. Deep anger. "I trusted you," he whispered. For a moment, Emily had no more defenses. Only excuses that didn't matter anymore. Then Michael looked at me. Really looked. And with a voice full of regret, he said, "Mom, take him. Please, take care of my son." Noah ran into my arms, holding me tighter than ever before. I kissed the top of his head as he cried into my shoulder. For the first time, I felt like someone chose me. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Emily stepped back, defeated, but furious. "This isn't over," she muttered. But at that moment, none of her words mattered. Because Noah was safe. Because Michael finally understood. Because I was not leaving this time. I was returning home. To the only home that ever mattered. The heart of my grandson. We left the house quietly. Noah held my hand the whole way, like he was afraid I might disappear again. When we reached Anna's home, he looked around nervously. "Is it okay if I stay here?" he asked in a small voice. I knelt in front of him. "You are safe now," I whispered. "And this time, I am not going anywhere." He hugged me, his arms strong with desperation. I felt every emotion in that embrace: fear, relief, love. Later that night, Michael called. His voice was shaky. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have protected you. And him. It's not about sorry anymore, I replied. It's about what you do next. He took a long breath. I'm filing for divorce. Those words didn't bring joy. Just sadness for what could have been, and strength for what must be. I'll fight for custody, he continued. Noah belongs with you more than he ever did with us. I closed my eyes. For the first time in months, my tears weren't from pain. They were from relief. And gratitude. I will help you, I said softly. We will do this together. The next morning, Noah woke up early. He came to my room, climbing into bed beside me without a word. He just held onto my arm, like a lifeline. I brushed his hair gently. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. For what? Kay asked. For telling the truth. For being brave. For trusting me. His eyes softened. I knew you would come back. Those words glued the shattered pieces of my heart back together. Days turned into weeks. Court appointments, discussions with lawyers, documents that felt endless. But through it all, Noah stayed close, helping in tiny ways, bringing me water, sticking drawings on my wall, smiling again bit by bit. Michael visited often. We sat at the table together after Noah fell asleep. One night he looked at his hands and whispered, I thought I was protecting everyone by staying silent, but I was only protecting the problem. You see it now, I said. That's what matters. He nodded. I want to earn back my son's trust. And yours. I didn't rush to forgive. Wounds heal slower than they open. But I could see the man I raised was still inside him, trying. Meanwhile, Emily didn't go down quietly. She called often, shouting, begging, threatening. But I didn't answer anymore. Not every fight deserves a voice, especially from someone who never used theirs wisely. One afternoon, Noah was drawing on the porch. I sat beside him with a cup of tea. Grandma, he said suddenly. Yes, dear. When Dad leaves Mom, will we live together forever? I placed my hand over his little fingers. You will always have a home with me. Not for a moment. Not for a weekend. For as long as you need. And even longer. He leaned against my arm and sighed. I like forever. A soft, peaceful silence wrapped around us. The birds. The breeze. No fear. For the first time, happiness didn't feel temporary. It felt like a beginning. A brand new story. Written with strength, honesty, and love that refuses to break. The day of the final custody hearing arrived. Noah held my hand the whole time, his tiny fingers squeezing tighter whenever he felt scared. Michael sat beside us, silent but determined. He looked like a man ready to reclaim his soul. Emily sat across the room, her eyes cold, her jaw stiff. But for the first time, she looked powerless. The judge reviewed everything. Reports, statements, Noah's own quiet truth. After what felt like forever, the decision came. Noah would live with me. Permanently. The judge said one more thing, something that struck deep. Love is not about who a child belongs to by birth, but who they are safe with by heart. I closed my eyes and breathed. Finally, peace. Outside the courthouse, Noah wrapped his arms around my waist. We did it, he said, smiling through tears. Yes, I whispered. We did. Michael stood in front of us, eyes red, voice soft. Mom, thank you for being stronger than I was. He looked at Noah. I am going to fix myself, and I will spend every day proving that I love you. Noah hugged his father. No bitterness. Children forgive faster than adults heal. Emily approached then, her face pale. I never wanted to be the villain, she said quietly. I nodded. I know. But sometimes people become one. When they don't face their own pain. She looked down as if seeing her mistakes for the first time. I hope you get the help you need, I added. Not anger. Not hate. Just truth. That was the last time I saw her. Weeks passed. Our lives began to fill with healthier routines. Mornings with laughter. Evenings with homework and cookies. Nights with peace instead of fear. One night, after I tucked Noah into bed, he asked, Grandma, are you happy now? I sat beside him and smiled. I am happy. Because you are safe. And because we're together, He nodded sleepily. You saved me. I kissed his forehead. No, sweetheart. You saved me too. He drifted to sleep, calm, loved, believing in tomorrow. I walked outside to the porch, looking up at the quiet night sky. When Michael and Emily built that home, I thought that was my future. I thought my role was to stay quiet, be useful, not be in the way. But the truth is, I wasn't thrown out. I was pushed towards something better, a new purpose, a new reason to wake up every morning, a new home built not from walls, but from love. I used to think growing old meant becoming smaller, less important, easier to forget. But now I know something beautiful. The heart never retires. It keeps loving and protecting for as long as it beats. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know this. If love is your reason, courage will always be your strength. Noah mumbled in his sleep. Grandma, don't leave. I smiled, tears soft, not heavy. I'm right here, I whispered, and I'm not going anywhere again. Not now. Not ever. The world tried to tell me I was unnecessary, but all it took was one small child to remind me I am someone's home, and that is enough.